Everybody remembers the Countach. Nobody remembers it started with a clutch. 1963. A tractor guy walks into Ferrari to complain about a broken part. And Enzo Ferrari, the great Enzo, looks him up and down and tells him to get back on his tractor. Big mistake. Because this guy doesn't get mad. He gets even. And the revenge he builds becomes the most beautiful car company on earth. See, you gotta understand who Ferruccio Lamborghini was. Born 1916, a kid from a family of grape farmers. But Ferruccio doesn't care about grapes. He cares about machines, engines, the stuff that makes things move. Then the war ends. Italy's a wreck, but it's a wreck covered in abandoned military hardware. And Ferruccio? He looks at all that junk and sees money. He buys up the surplus engines, the parts, and he turns them into tractors. Now, post-war Italy needs to feed itself. Everybody needs a tractor. And his are cheap, they're tough, and they sell by the thousand. 10 years later, this farm kid is one of the richest men in the country. Tractors, air conditioners, heaters, the money's pouring in. And what does a rich Italian buy when he's made it? He buys Ferraris. Ferruccio buys a bunch of them. The 250 GT, the most wanted car on the planet. But here's the thing. Ferruccio's not just some rich guy with a checkbook. He's an engineer. He knows machines better than the men who sell them to him. And the Ferraris? Gorgeous, sure, but loud, rough, built like race cars. And one thing drives him up the wall. The clutch. It keeps breaking, over and over. And every time, the car's gotta go all the way back to Maranello. Big bill, every time. So one day, Ferruccio does what no normal customer would ever do. He opens it up himself. And what he finds, oh, this is the good part. The clutch in his exotic, world-famous Ferrari is the same exact part he puts in his tractors. The same cheap piece. Ferrari's charging him a fortune for something he buys by the crate. So Ferruccio drives to Maranello to do Enzo a favor, to tell him how to fix his own cars. And it goes bad. Enzo Ferrari does not take advice, especially not from a tractor man. The story goes, he tells Ferruccio, the problem isn't my car, it's the driver. You're a tractor maker. Stick to tractors. Now, think about that. You build an empire from scrap with your own two hands, and the king of Italy tells you to know your place. That's an insult you don't forget. So Ferruccio decides he's going to build a better car than Ferrari, period. And in 1963, he sets up shop in Sant'Agata, practically next door to Maranello. And he does everything Enzo doesn't. A modern factory, bright, air-conditioned, spotless. Then he goes shopping. For people. He poaches the best young engineers in Italy. Some of them, they came straight from Ferrari. He gets a guy named Bizzarini to build him a brand new V12. And it's a monster. Smoother, stronger, better than anything Enzo's got. For the badge, Ferruccio, a Taurus, a man who loved the bullfights, picks a charging bull. A bull staring down a prancing horse. That was on purpose. His first car, the 350 GT, is exactly what he promised. Fast, refined, beautifully made. And people start to notice. This tractor guy? He's serious. But Ferruccio's just getting started. His young engineers come to him with a crazy idea. Put the engine in the middle, like a race car, but for the street. Nobody's doing that. And Ferruccio says, do it. 1966, Geneva Motor Show. They pull the sheet off and the room stops breathing. The Miura. Low, impossible. A screaming V12 right behind your head. And it doesn't just beat Ferrari, it invents something brand new: the supercar. Overnight, Lamborghini is the most exciting name in the business. And here's the move that really got under Enzo's skin. Ferruccio won't go racing. Racing was Enzo's whole religion, the reason he sold road cars at all. Ferruccio calls it a waste of money. He beats Ferrari a different way: on the street, in the magazines, on the walls, without ever showing up to the fight. And then, 1971, comes the one that ends the argument for good. The Countach, a wedge from outer space with doors that open to the sky. That car becomes the poster, the dream, supercar for a whole generation of kids. Ferruccio's on top of the world, and that, right there, is usually when it all goes wrong. 1973. The oil crisis hits, and nobody wants a thirsty V12 anymore. Then a giant tractor order out of South America, the deal that funded everything, collapses. Suddenly, the money machine that built the dream is bleeding out. And Ferruccio? Tired, broke, done fighting. He does the one thing you'd never expect. He starts selling off the company he built out of pure spite. A piece at first, then control. And by 1974, he's gone, walked away from all of it. Lamborghini speeds the next few decades broke, passed from owner to owner, while Ferrari just stays Ferrari. Proud, independent, untouched. And Ferruccio? He goes home, buys some land, and spends the rest of his life making wine. Quiet, no engines, just a man who proved his point. He never beat Ferrari on a track, never even tried. He just built a bull so beautiful the whole world fell in love with it. All because Enzo Ferrari told a tractor maker to stay in his lane. So tell me, does Lamborghini even exist if Enzo just fixes the clutch? Drop a comment. Subscribe for more stories behind the machines. I'll see you in the next one.